Yeah, man. I mean, Martin Luther King Day. I'm a day late. Right after Martin Luther King, they didn't even celebrate it at my job. But I wonder what MLK Jr. would say today, where he's seen his people go. Now, I understand that some people, know about MLK, knows about MLK's affiliation with fraternities, and we all know fraternities are Masonic in 2026. However, even the way that MLK handled himself in that day compared to now and the toxic culture of so-called black culture is the question I want to raise today. I would dare say that we in the most toxic situation I've ever seen in my life. And people say, oh yeah, people promote it, this and that. But whose fault is that? Who is the one that's glorifying these situations? Who is putting eyes on the negativity? So the thing is, sometimes we got to point fingers back at ourselves. If we don't like something, we see in our culture, why not keep your eyes off of it? Oh, well, you say, oh, you don't have a choice. It's all over the place. And I have to. But see,
I want to be able to.
so yeah, the hypocrisy has to stop. You know, today, we gotta stop the playing, bro. If you want to see different in our house, if you want to see a different light, amidst this darkness, we have to start questioning everything as so-called black people. And we never been so-called black. That's the issue. And we have to question the origin of where we came from and everything. But to do that, it takes, inner work. It takes, going in your spirit and finding the truth and study. For me, scriptural study. But in 2026, there's no beef. No beef 2026, man. So that's my new thing for this year. No beef 2026. And this is the memorial for Martin Luther King Jr. because at the end of the day, he has some issues, he has some problems, but one thing he did do, he brought together the America that we see today, and established it for people, for all people, different races, and to give them opportunity, right? And to bring people together for more as well. And, of course, when he began to become a little militant toward the end of his life, they got rid of him because they used him for a purpose and then they got rid of him. Now, but are we going to continue in this same walk? It just seems like we continue to do the same thing over and over again. When are we going to stand up and say, I've had enough? Especially, I'm talking to the men. I ain't talking to the women. When will you stand up and say you have had enough? When you are going to stand up and be a man, stand 10 toes down, stand for something or fall for anything. When are you going to stop lusting? When are you going to stop fighting? When are you going to watch what you hear and what you listen to? When are you going to stop hating your brother and loving your neighbor and starting to love your neighbor as yourself? When is it going to stop? And when are we going to start doing positive things within our community? When is it going to happen? Is it always going to be a few of us that stand in the gap and say, oh, we shouldn't blame these people or blame that people? We got to do for ourselves. We got to do what we have to do amongst ourselves. Now, that's one thing. If we were to do what we had to do amongst ourselves, we would see change immediately. So I don't like to point fingers at other people. When it comes to my people, I want to focus on what we can do. What can we do to become better, to become more loving, to become more long-suffering, and to get in these fruits of the spirit truly. All right? But anyway, that's all I got. No Beef 2026.